Hi, I'm Linda Boyd and I'm running for Fargo City Commission.
So what are the most important issues in your race and how would you address those?
First of all, Fargo is one of the best cities to live in, to work, to raise a family, live a healthy lifestyle. And I think a lot of Fargo's challenges are actually positive ones. You know, we're growing very quickly. How do we wisely manage that growth? Our downtown is thriving, but how do we keep it affordable? We have lots of other neighborhoods that need attention too. We have more jobs than we can fill, so how do we attract and educate and retain our future workforce? So my important issues are actually all tied together in ensuring that Fargo remains a community that works for everyone, because although our community is really thriving, we still have between 17 and 20% of our people who live at or below the poverty line. So that makes it more important than ever that city services really do work for everyone. So I would say three big areas are, of course, jobs and economic development. With those unfilled jobs, our education and actually access to employment really aligning with the jobs out there. Do we have unfulfilled potential in people who live here, and how can we as a city help folks overcome those barriers to employment? In the area of housing, workforce and low-income housing will continue to be a challenge because particularly since federal and state funding programs are declining. So I think one of the things we need to do is flesh out the information that we learned from the 2015 housing study and incorporate things such as income levels and homelessness and supportive housing and so forth. And then take a look to see that our programs and incentives and funding mechanisms are really aligning to where the greatest needs are, or do we need to change some of that? And what role can the city of Fargo play in some of this? One of the projects I've worked on recently is a collaboration between the city of Fargo and FM Area Foundation called a Community Land Trust. And that's something that deals with public-owned land that has been successful in other communities in moving people, especially families, from renting into home ownership, getting that first opportunity to build equity. So I think we can do a lot more in those kinds of areas. But the basic question for me always is, are our programs and incentives really aligned with where they're most needed? And then the overall quality of life. I think that we've seen over the last several years when we keep landing on all of the best city for blah, 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 is that that's just the best kind of economic development there is if we ensure that people who live here have an excellent quality of life, that we'll be able to attract and retain that workforce. Because in that 21st century workplace, many people can choose to live and work from wherever they wish. So we really do have to be a competitive destination. And the first and foremost component of that is making sure that all Fargoans feel welcome and valued as fellow citizens and neighbors. So I think we just need to build on those strengths.
What differentiates you from your opponents, and why should someone vote for you?
I think my commitment to good governance and my experience differentiates me. I've been on the city commission, school board, I've worked as a nonprofit administrator and as a small business owner and an educator. And I believe that that has taught me a lot. It's given me a real comprehensive understanding of our community, and it's also been very valuable over the years to be able to convene and pull together all kinds of collaborations. I think good governance also relies on leaders who are able to hear differing opinions and still work together to find solutions. I think that sets me apart. And I think I have a track record that shows that I'm not afraid of tackling tough issues, but yet finding a way to solve problems and see it through.